These songs, they're so funny. Hi, everyone. Just wanted to welcome you guys to my page, to my podcast. My name's Jennifer Martinez, and I am the owner of Open to the Universe, QHHT. I'm a practitioner of this technique. It's absolutely a beautiful technique. It's amazing. It's super gentle. Anyone can go under. It's a very awakening technique. I absolutely love it. It is holistic healing, self healing. Today, I kind of just wanted to come on here and talk about the heart, just how some people can be so numb, they're not sure that the heart that they can hear, that they can feel and know. And we're always supposed to go to the heart or feel the heart, and it's kind of our compass in life. It leads us to what we feel is good and not good. And I know something came up the other day for me that triggered me to want to talk about it because most people are numb. They don't know how to follow their heart. They asked me for advice, and I said, follow your heart. And they responded as, I don't know what you mean. My heart's numb, I guess. And that made me kind of stop and think and go, wow, all right. Well, if you do have that going on, a session would be a beautiful thing and great thing. It definitely wakes you up to a bigger reality, a better reality of your life. Just knowing that you're more than what we think we are. And just living life to the point where we're following our heart. We're going through life as, I like this, I don't like this. And choosing the things we really like. There's a lot of us that don't do that. We kind of just get in a moment of this is what we think that it all is, and that better can't be for us. And that's a vibration that we're putting out too. So, and it just takes a little practice if you do want to try it on your own and not have a session. But I always suggest a session because I feel like it just helps the person to get to the point where they actually do start to lead with their heart, feel things out with their heart, go in their life journey of life with their heart as far as feeling things out, knowing what you want, bettering you, loving you, starting from within, really. So if you do want a session, I do suggest one. There's 3 levels of practitioners, but you can go to my page and I would love to give you a session. And mine is Jennifer Martinez, QHHT.com. You can go to my email. You can email me too as well. And that's just Jen, JENN MWYS @outlook.com. Or you can go to Dolores's page. If you're not in my area, you can go to Dolores Cannon's page. And that's just official QHHT.com, and find a practitioner in your area. I always suggest that you get a professional practitioner for this particular technique. I know some people may have learned it along the way from other people. It's not something you would just want someone to toy with. This is very beautiful. This is very gentle, and a professional practitioner of this would give you the best session, that you need. Really resonate with that practitioner if you have an option, if there's more than one in your area. Really just try to find out about them, listen to their voice. Is their voice calling to you? Is it sound comfortable to you? Because that's what it generally comes down to, is the comfort. Because you are going under, you do want it to be comfortable for you. You want to feel safe. as far as safe, meaning when you lay down, that whatever you say, you feel no judgment, because you don't want to feel a judgment going on or anything like that. I get these strong messages to tell you that. So for whoever needed that message, I feel that that was for you. Um, my angels always come through. I'm super connected. I pop on here when it's time to pop on here, and give you guys a message, because it's the great awakening. We all deserve it. It's the time now that we wake up to something so beautiful, so amazing, and that we unite with others, and come to a realization that we can change what's in front of us by changing each and every one of us. And it's not changing like I want you to be you. It's changing that you start loving you. Sometimes we don't put ourselves first. We can be really great people and just put ourselves very last because we have all this other stuff to care for. But guess what? You can't care for those things fully and love on those things fully until you put yourself first. Because if you're down and you're not healthy and you're not feeling 100%, how can you even go upon your life and really actually enjoy it as you're doing these chores or caring for others? We're amazing. And I give you guys lots of love, because the stuff we really have to do in life, if people realized the things that ordinary people do every day to keep this world turning, I mean, the rest of them are all so, but anyway, we'll go back to this. Just following the heart, knowing and trusting ourselves. I always like to start out with meditations in the morning, and just caring for myself. So I do a smoothie every morning, and um, I take supplements to make sure that I feel balanced and I have energy. And so when I prepare for my day, I make sure I have water bottles and, just anything that will make me feel good along the way. Because, of course, we have to get out there and work and do things. But I just think it's really important that those are the things we care about, uh, by caring how we're going to feel that day. And that's all that generally matters, if you realize everything's in the now. So it's always happening right now. And so if you focused on that, you would care about how you feel in the moment versus, oh, I have this thing next week, or I have to do this later, or whatever. You always worry about you in that moment. How are you going to feel now? And that's really leading with your heart too. We don't really realize that, and it's just a beautiful thing once you have that balance of loving on yourself and caring about your heart, as far as listening to your heart, and I'm talking about the vibration. So we have chakras in our body, and they're energy sources, and there's 7 main ones in our body, and we of course have more joints and throughout the whole body. And I'm as well a Reiki practitioner, and I've done all of the schooling for master up to the master Reiki, but I can't consider myself that. I mean, you have to put your dues in for that one. I mean, it takes a long time to really truly be the master Reiki, but I do love Reiki. I feel that I'm so connected to the energy, and to anyone who comes to me and needs a session with quantum healing, or Reiki. They're both beautiful self-healing, but you're going to have a better um, understanding, I guess, of life when you do quantum healing, because you see with your third eye, your mind's eye, and things pop up. There could be, some stagnant energy from a past life or from when you were young. Things like that for me had popped up. I had a lot of past life energy that was stagnant that I realized I was trying to work out. But once I realized I got off the wheel of karma, I've been on my own little journey. And I think that's what most of us need to be doing right now is listening to people who can inspire us, who can uplift us, because that's what's right now. We're going through the eye of the needle, and this is the last year. Um, and it's just really important to pay attention to it now more than ever. I That's how I feel. I feel like now is the time. Why else? It's 2022. This is the future. And why wouldn't you want to better yourself? It's for you. Um, your mind, your heart, and if you start with the heart, the mind then relaxes. And, this is our ego life. Anytime you try to better yourself, the ego steps in and says, no, 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 no. We're super comfortable being bored and being, it plays you down basically. And you can see that. And when you pay attention to that and you go, oh my gosh, she was right. My ego just wants me to do nothing and and not to better myself. Um, it happens. The ego gets very protective of the body. It only wants a certain thing, and that could be just literally doing the same thing every day. And that's okay too. I wouldn't diss anyone or downplay anyone who is just doing their thing and that's comfortable to them. But when they realize that they're not loving on themselves enough, and not able to feel the heart as far as emotions go, we're super numb there. Our vibration isn't as strong as it used to be. So I just think it's like really important more than ever, because it's just the great awakening. It's a great time to be alive. Your life, you have to realize, to be in a body, to have the things you have, it's a blessing right now. There's lots on the other side waiting to come here. And wow, we get to be here, right now, enjoying everything Earth has to offer to us. We really need to get back out there in the woods, in the forest, and at the beach, just anywhere where it's nature. It's so important for us to connect to the Gaia, which is Earth. She's evolving as well, and just loving on it, just enjoying being you, enjoying people around you. I think that's so important now than ever. But also, I think as important is, especially this year, is creating new habits that just better you. Like I said, I care about myself, so I take a supplement, I drink a smoothie, and that's how I start. And then I do my meditations, I exercise, and I have to wake up a little bit earlier. And that's okay. Yeah, I am a little tired, but honestly, I do it because I want to be the best I can be in that day, because I get stretched thin. I have a family and there's all sorts of stuff to do. And plus I have to work. So and I love doing this stuff. So I have to balance it all out. But I lead with my heart always. What can I fit in my day? What will actually work for me? Knowing I'm never alone, knowing when I say these things, I'm talking to my guidance team and they're arranging things on the other side, because, see, we were granted free will as we came here. And free will is a really, truly a beautiful gift that we were granted as we came onto this planet. um, yin and yang, good and evil. We were granted free will so that we can choose good or evil. What do we want to experience in our life? What do we want to lead with? But generally, what we're finding, yeah, we experience what bad could be, but we're falling right back to what good is, because that's true to our heart. Honestly, it's really it, that we lead with our heart. And it's not to be a softy and you just don't, and you just put your guard up or put your guard down and everything. It's nothing like that. It's feeling everything you need to feel out, where you're on the right path. You're at the right career. You know you're learning these things as far as finding true love, finding a good career path, knowing yourself, finding your truth, really. But going back to quantum healing, I love quantum healing hypnosis technique for that, because a lot of us had to grow up in a certain pattern, a certain. So this topic is basically, I am a practitioner for quantum healing hypnosis technique. It's such a beautiful technique. It's very gentle, easy on the body. You basically find a practitioner in your area, or you can come to me. And it needs to be a professional practitioner taught by Dolores Cannon. She's the one that developed this particular technique. And so she's been doing it for 50 years, and she did it on over 10,000 people. She's written 19 books. So a lot of her information came from individual people. Oh, it's incredible. It's the great awakening right now. And so with her technique, you can go under with the practitioner, of course, and you can see the bigger picture. You can see what life literally is truly all about, why we're here, why we came. Before you came into your body, you created a plan, and you made agreements with people around you. So if you have some people have challenges in life, as far as been married multiple times, maybe the loss of people around you, the shift of your job or career, trying to find yourself. So there's so many things that could be going on, or you have something completely different going on in your life. That you notice maybe a pattern, that may be a struggle, there could be a crossroads in life. So this technique is so beautiful. It literally helps you on the right path. It lets you know you're never alone. There's your guardian angels are on the other side. Sure, you can't see them, but if you really connected and you did a session with this, you feel them in your heart. You know they're there. You know you're never alone in the dark, especially when we have hard times. We lose someone, or whatever the case is. Times change and people don't always stay forever. And that's the illusion that life gives you. But the truth is they're really there. So I've had some people come to me who have tragically lost someone, and they never got to say goodbye. So through this particular technique, you can actually do that. Um, and you can actually see that person. So I've done it on people. I've done 40 people so far, as just being a practitioner. And so I've done that, as well as had it performed on me several times. I feel very open. I know I have a guardian angel, several, that it's a team. We have a team on the other side, because they knew we had free will, so they can't just jump in and help. So you have to literally connect to them and say, hey, I need your help right now. I am lost. So when you do that, it just bonds you with your guardians on the other side. And not even just that, it gives you a better awareness, knowing that you're not just this person walking around trying to just get a career and get married and blah, blah, blah. That whole scene, it shows you that you're much more, that you hold this being, this amazingness in your life. We're multidimensional beings. We're more than what we give ourselves credit for. And that's what's so beautiful. But I know that a lot of people go through life, and they just honestly get raised by someone who has a different belief system, even though we have this plan when we come in, and we're like, okay, we're going to do it this way. Guess what? We're a baby when we come in, so we forget everything. The veil lifts over our eyes, and we forget it all. And And then there's already people here. So we get raised a certain way, we get in depth with a religion or a culture, whatever, and we grow up a whole nother way. But by the time we get older, we start to go, what is that? Is there more? You know, we have this shift in us, in our personalities. Some of us will stay all the way until we leave that one way, that one religion, that one belief, all the way. We won't second guess it. We'll just go with it. But there's so many of us now that we knew we would wake up. We knew we would wake up at this time looking and searching for people who are awake with us because we're not all awake. You couldn't talk to everyone about this subject because everyone is awake. It's just, and they're unsure of it. It gives them a little unsure. I catch that from people if they ask me what my career is, and I explain to them and they look at me. It's almost like you talk to someone who's sleepwalking and their eyes are open but they're not there, they're not awake. And that's what I mean. It's like we're all sleepwalking until the one day we wake up. And sometimes we're not completely awake, but we're kinds of awake as you can hear and feel some things happening. You see the other people, you hear things like me talking about this, knowing that we're more than we give ourselves credit for, and that when we do this technique, it really actually wakes us up. Just to know that there's more out there, that we're actually on the planet of yin and yang. That is our symbol. That we don't have to endure evil if we don't want to, or bad, because good and bad. And that if we are in a bad situation, we don't have to stay there. I think that's important for people to know, is that, yeah, things happen and it leads us to it, but we don't have to stay that way the whole lifespan, And for my lifespan, I feel like I've lived multiple lives in this one. I've had so many struggles when I came into this world. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. But when I came into this world, I had, my own struggles as being part of a divorced family. My family was unfortunately divorcing when I was little, and that takes a toll on a kid. And I always asked myself, what is happening, And as I got older, I kind of spiraled out of control and just didn't understand the whole process. There was no guidance until I got to the point where I was like, help me. I don't know who can hear me, but help me. And that's what I was saying. And I said it to myself and I said it out loud. And before I knew it, my life changed and it kept changing. And I really didn't wake up until about, I would say 5 or 6 years ago was when I really woke up. So it's taken me a little bit of time to even feel comfortable helping others wake up, because we need to just go, we need to wake up when it's time for us to wake up. And you shouldn't have anyone ever force you to do anything, because it needs to be when you're ready, when you'll have a shift in you. You'll just know when it's time, and you'll just wake up one morning and you'll say, I wonder if I can find anything spiritual today. And not religion spiritual, but like connecting spiritual, knowing that there's got to be something else out there. There's got to be much more. And there actually really is. And when you dive in, it's like an ocean. It's a whole world out there of this information. I'm, one of many, but it's finding that one person that you want to listen to their voice, their information, because it's so true. It feels so connected and so true to your soul. It's not true to your ego. True to your soul is your being inside you that keeps you alive, that spark. That's what you're feeling. That's following your heart. Because your ego, your ego is pretty basic. It wants to keep you in that moment of maybe you feel misery. It'll say, hey, at least you know what it feels like. It's comfort zone. And, it's the guard dog of your body. It's not going to want to plan things out in a year, plan things, set goals and things like that. It's not going to always want you to better yourself. You might have a miserable job, and the ego will say, well, at least you have a job. And that's not any way to live your life. We don't have long lives to begin with. So why can't you be happy in your life? Why can't you make that big change and actually say, you know what? This is what I'm doing. I'm coming from the heart. Do you mean where do I live? Or so I live in Montana, and I'm not sure if you're in the US, but that's where I am. So that's the state I live in. Actually live right next to Yellowstone National Park. Not sure if you know that. Yeah. So, yep, that's where I am. I am in the US next to Yellowstone National Park. It's in Montana, the state, and it's incredible. But I'm thankful for that because it's more country, less people, and not. And I actually grew up right in the city. We just moved here, and I love it. It's peaceful, and yeah. So, and basically, just what I was saying was just really following your heart, honestly. But if you can do a session with quantum healing hypnosis technique, it's such a gentle and easygoing technique. It really opens your eyes. It makes you realize there's much more and that you don't have to settle with what you have. If you need a job change, this technique in particular just helps you and leads you to the best path for you, the best life for you. And honestly, I mean, what a gift. What a gift. I mean, why wouldn't you want to better yourself and know that that you don't have to stay in the spot you're in, that you can actually do good for you and better you. It's truly a gift and truly something you have to do on your own. Yeah, you can get this technique, but it's 50-50. Sure, you can get a session, but as well, you have to put the work in to better you because no matter what, we have the ego. What we tap into is the subconscious side, the spiritual side of you. When we do a session, when practitioners do a session for this particular technique, it's super gentle. You can go to my page, Jennifer Martinez, QHHT.com, or go to the official page and find a practitioner in your area. And that's just official QHHT.com, and then find a practitioner and really resonate with them and really connect. So it's just a very big deal to do that before you actually go and have a session. Because when you do have a session, it's very, it's neat. You'll love it. You'll love a session. They're gentle, they're easy. They tell you so much. You see your connection to people. You see the people you may have lost. That they're not lost. They're just right there. And when we follow our heart and our heart is clear and not so heavy and not so numb, we know that the ones we lost, they're not lost, they're in our heart. And we'll connect again one day. And it's okay. And I think a lot of us need to, get to that point. And that's all I could ever hope for anyone, is that just listening to my message, it helps you wake up. That's all. When it's the one thing that my hope is. I have faith and I have hope in people, and I'm thankful for those two emotions because I think they're very important to have as a person. I know that there's more out there than what I give myself credit for. Um, me, I know I have more out there, and I don't know. It's a neat thing, really, to be awake and to help others awaken. I love it. It's incredible. So if you live in a snowy area, get out there, play in the snow. If you live in a beautiful beachy area, get out there and go to the beach. Really connect to the earth. Really, you know, put the earth on you. Put your feet in the sand. Put your hands in the snow. It's just like really connect to each element, whatever you're gifted, whatever is there in front of you. Go for that walk. Get some fresh air in your lungs. Even if you don't say it out loud, say thank you, God, for me even being here. Thank you for letting me be in this body. I love my body. Love your body. Love on it. I don't think we actually give ourselves that credit of loving on ourselves and caring about ourselves and just appreciating that we can get out there and that we're even in a body for this experience at all. I just think it's just really important more now than ever as we are in the future and we're going into the future. Um, yeah. And so this is the last year of going through the eye of the needle. And I just think if you have this calling now of finding out who you are, maybe your heart is numb, but it's lightening up because what else would you be listening to me? I only attract the people who feel that vibration I'm putting out. So it's like love and light. That's what I put out into the world. And I know people feel that vibration subconsciously. And then they pop up on my show. They've downloaded my episodes. I think it's really important to lead that way, to go, wow, she's right. I want to better myself. And this is how I can start. Because sometimes we don't even know where to start. And I think it can be as simple as this, listening to someone. It doesn't have to be me. It's great that you listen to me. I appreciate it. So it makes me want to always put out the most loving information I can put out, knowing that that's the best I can do, is put my love and compassion, my faith in people, my faith in them, that, yeah, you may be in a situation, but know that it's not going to stay that way forever and that you can better yourself. And all you have to do is practice a little bit. We're creatures of habit, of course. So we'll do the same thing over and over. But we as well practice that. If you look at it, you weren't that way always. You just got to that point because you've practiced it. And then you do it over and over every day. That's practicing your habit. And so it's what you want to better yourself. So what fits you? You don't have to do the same thing as anyone. That's what's the best part, is you're you and you know what you like. And if you don't know what you like, that's why I suggest a session, because sometimes it lightens everything, because we could be very heavy with dense energy and really only be leading the light with the ego, and that's no way. That's why we feel the way we do, and that's why we get sucked in to the drama and the fear. And when we lead that way, that's from the outside in. That's why we are struggling. I think some of us are struggling, and we're like, oh, I don't know how to do it. How do you shift? And that's ego. And when we stop and say, wait a minute, I have free will. So of course it's going to be up to what I need to do, what I need to create. And when we start listening to good stuff every day and limit ourselves with social media as far as darkness and craziness, we don't need that drama. It's just drama and we don't need it. Yeah, it's entertaining, but it's not good for the soul. It just isn't. Right now, right here, and right now, what really your soul is wanting is that true connection to this higher self that you eventually tap into. But you can tap into it with the quantum healing hypnosis technique. It's so cool. You have to have a practitioner. So find a practitioner. There's 3 levels. Generally, level 1, they're pretty great, I think, because they're passionate. I feel like all practitioners right now for quantum healing hypnosis technique are very passionate. They're very excited. Um, but you still need to find the one perfect for you if you have that option. And so, level 1, you can probably most likely get a free session, but just have some basic things. Know that you're not going to get in depth, thorough with the level 1 because they are learning. They've barely just learned this technique. But level 2 and level 3, you will have to pay for them, but it's worth it, honestly. The session is such a beautiful gift that you'll pay it. It's just one of those things that, if you're going to buy a nice car or a nice house, you got to pay for it. Same thing. Like you'd be happy you had it, be the best thing in the world, or that vacation, or that ring, or that outfit, or those pair of shoes. You will pay for anything nice. And that's how it is. This is exactly the same thing. This is a nice thing. The this is bettering you. So anyway, a level 2 or a level 3, when you really have some in depth, you need some healing, you might have health issues. And really that's coming back to, I am also a practitioner for soul speak, and that's the language of the body. That's your angel speaking through the body because you are in the vessel. And this is the only way they can communicate because, like I said, this is free will. This planet is free will. They cannot step in. They cannot just come in when they see you crying and they hear you screaming. We scream, sometimes. Help us. They hear you. And that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm putting this out here because they come to my angels and they encourage my angels to encourage me to get my voice out here because, it's the time of the regular people. We need to stand up. We need to awaken. We need to know we're much more than what we're being told. We don't need to be told anything. It's there in us. Literally, it's there in us. So if you have the opportunity to get a session, I really suggest it. I really feel like you'd get healing it's self-healing. So if you do have health issues, your angels are trying to tell you either on the wrong path or whatever the case may be. We all have different scenarios. We're all different. So that's why it's really important to find a practitioner so that way you can start to lead in your life with your heart, coming back to the heart. It's like that session, you're only going to need one session if your practitioner is a level 2 or a level 3. Now, if you go to a level 1, maybe you might need a couple sessions because in the level 1, they're not as thorough, like I said. And when you go to a level 2 or 3, they're more thorough. And I just think it's important to go to someone who is a 2 or a 3 if you really have health issues. So with the Soul Speak, you can have a session with me on that one. I realized that that's important because you can even tell me what's going on health wise, and I can tell you ideally what's kind of going on in your life and what the health issues are representing. I think that's really important to understand, and I can give you some examples as um, yeah, because as we go, the body is amazing. It can do so much. So if you can make yourself ill, sick, you can definitely make yourself healthy and well. Yep, the chakras are just really important because I feel like if your chakras aren't clear, that's why I love being a practitioner of Reiki. It aligns your chakras, clears your energy, activates your healing agents inside because see, our bodies are amazing. It's not like God gave us crappy bodies. That's not true. It's our mind. It's our belief system. Like I said, we came in with a plan, so sometimes we forget it. And they come through our bodies because that's like going through the back doors. Like they can't come in the front door and say, hey, you're going in the wrong path. You remember before you came here, you said you wanted this, this, and this. And that's aligning yourself with the goodness, with the good energy, with good loving on yourself. And when our chakras aren't aligned, things then start to get a little cattywonka, just not good. And we have heart issues or we'll have other organ issues. Our nervous system could be messed up. So just all sorts of things really that could happen. For instance, knee problems, resistance to move into your desired direction in life. So that's just the basic. That would be, if you were telling me, oh, my right knee, then I would say, oh, that's your current. Okay. And, things like insomnia, fear usually from a situation that happened in childhood. So, sometimes we can't sleep at night. So you have insomnia. So why is that? Generally you're holding on to some energy, some things that shouldn't be. And that also numbs our heart. So when we hold on to these energies that we need to let go of, we don't even realize we've held on to it. We feel so heavy sometimes by the time we're a certain age and older. And you can see some people, their back is arched, hunched over. Um, they have a lot of baggage. That's really what it comes down to is they're holding so much baggage. Um, I want to help everyone, and at the same time, I can't help everyone. So that can be a little daunting for me. And this isn't exactly, but I like to have a baseline for it, and even then, for instance, um, what else was a really good one? Your hands. Hands are used to accept and hold things, also used for tools. So if you have any issues with your hands, so it's kind of neat. I love doing Soul Speak as well. It's Dolores Cannon's daughter, Julia Cannon. She's amazing. She's tapped in. So she's done several sessions with her mom before her mom passed away, with Dolores. And, honestly, when you go under, it shifts you. You wake up and you then realize how powerful you really are and how amazing you really are and what you can actually tap into. And her angels come through very strong. You can actually watch her every Friday morning on Facebook. Julia does a class, well, just kind of talks basically what I'm doing, but she does it on Facebook. So Julia Cannon every Friday morning on Facebook. She's pretty cool. So I'm a practitioner for Soul Speak, which really goes together with the quantum healing, because as a practitioner, I bring the person in, my client and whoever chooses for a session, and I let them talk. I let them tell me their life and what's important and what they remember. Sometimes we don't remember things. Sometimes we block them out. Um, Dolores has done over 10,000 people. She's done this, she's developed this particular technique. It's taken, she aced it. By the time she was ready to leave this earth, she nailed it. She was true master of it. Took her 50 years, but she did it. And that's beautiful. It just really is. Good morning. And so it's really a true gift to be a practitioner. I really love it. I really love watching people wake up from it after I do a session with them, and they're just like, oh my goodness, that was uplifting and beautiful. And you can't almost explain it when you wake up. You realize, wow, there's no words. And sometimes even when you're under, there's no words to say what you're seeing. You see so much. You see everything when you go under. And that's what I love. So, as well as, like I said, we block things out. And that's just really meaning something scared us. We led with fear on that emotion and we chose to block it out, although it's still there. It's still holding on to you. You may have just pushed it in a dark spot. It's still hanging out. And that's why I love quantum healing, because we can find that and then we can release it. And then you don't have that fear or emotion just weighing you down, because you don't deserve that. You don't deserve all that baggage you held on to forever in your life. How are you ever going to feel good as you go into the future? And I think that's our problem, is that we're holding so much from the past that we need to let go. And we need to say, it's okay. I either look back with forgiveness and love, or you don't look back at all and you let go. And you say, I let go of all of it. I let go of my childhood, or I let go of that marriage, or I let go of that loss. And no, it's not a loss. That's the one thing. We just lost someone in our community and she was young. And it does take a toll on you. It's amazing what that emotion brings to you. But we just need to know that that we had not lost them, that they're just in another dimension. There's different dimensions here. As I go into each state in the US, I realize that each state has a different dimension and a different feeling and a different vibe. As far as people awake, as people not awake, it's amazing what I'm feeling and what I'm sensing as I walk through my journey of life. I feel so much with my heart. It was so heavy. I came from abuse and it was really heavy, and I lost people I loved. And I thought, why am I in this body and why is this happening to me? And I realized that I'm going through an experience, and that sure, they left physically, but they're not gone. I see them in my dreams. I feel them next to me. I have this awakenedness to me that I know that I'm more than the lady in a body, this body, and I know I'm pure love and light, and I know that I lead with compassion, and I know that anyone can experience anything they want to experience, good or evil. You see it all the time, the really bad people or the really good people, the shamans. You dive into what emotion that you want to dive into. What is your experience? What do you feel like is happening in your life? Are you looking for that career? Are you looking for that love? I always think when you're looking for that love, it's your compass of your heart really searching for your own love. You're searching for your own self. And when we are looking outside in, that's the wrong way to do it. and I shouldn't even say the wrong way, it's just a different experience. It's not going to fulfill you. Outside in is like the house, the car, the material. That's outside in, and that never satisfies anyone. I don't know anyone who's satisfied with material items, because as soon as you get them, you want more. Someone just did that actually. Someone just bought property, and it was like, then they wanted more, and then they wanted the well, and then they wanted, so it just kept getting more and more. The greedy, the ego was like, oh, empowering, more, I want more. Never satisfied with what they had. And that's interesting to me, because I feel like as I went through life, I was very appreciative. I didn't have much. We always had used items. Um, and so I really appreciated it with my own hard work money. I just really appreciated everything I got and have right now, because I've never had it before. So I'm so thankful for it, so grateful. And when you lead like that from the inside out, it really gives you a different vibration of life. It gives you a whole different view of life. You do still see the bad, because of course it doesn't dissolve the bad, but it definitely dissolves the being having to be a part of that, because it's like, that's not me. I'm going to lead with my heart, and I'm going to lead with love and light and compassion, and know that there's faith and hope. And I hope and have faith that each and every one of us will get to wake up one day in the body we're in, and just better your own self, and lead with your heart, and know that you can have a good life. Maybe you might have to move towns. Maybe you might have to move states. Maybe you're at a crossroads. That's why I always suggest a session, going back, having a session with a practitioner for quantum healing hypnosis technique could really lead you to be the best you. And that's why we're here. That's her whole purpose, is to find our true self, to find our true love. And that's us. And when we do that individually and lead from inside out, we feel more fulfilled. We feel more whole. We look back with forgiveness and love, or we just don't even look back. We don't have to. Yesterday, gone. It's gone. Today, all we have is right now. All we have is this moment. We don't know tomorrow. We can hope and have faith that tomorrow will be. But loving every moment you have, you'll feel so different. You'll feel so complete. And it's a journey. It's not that easy. You have to create new habits. You have to start your morning out right, or start your day however your day goes. If you start in the afternoon, if you start at night, it's still starting that moment out right. It's saying, okay, I'm going to wake up and do something good for me today. And it took me practice. I didn't exercise. I didn't, take a smoothie have a smoothie every morning, and take supplements every morning. It took time to put those things into play for me, and every day was different. I don't do it every day. I can definitely put in the effort and do it every day, but I love to meditate, and I love to connect to my angels. They always lead me in the right direction. So I come on here and I tell you guys all this amazing stuff, just knowing that you are worth it. You don't deserve hardship. You don't deserve being hard on yourself. You just don't deserve it. You're When you tap into it, your heart is pure love and light and compassion. Yeah, people, we see them a certain way. We live in the cities. We perceive people certain ways of how they're showing us that personality, because they have different personalities. So what personality are you getting from them? And is it a lesson? Can you step back and feel like it's a lesson in life, and say, wow, what is this representing in my life? And really listening to that. So, and it may take some practice. The ego may step in and say, I'm not telling you anything, or give you a whole bunch of negative. And if that happens, if you're feeling negative, it's not going to be your subconscious. It's not going to be the true soul part of you, because your true soul self is pure love. It doesn't do negative. It's the ego that does negative. So it's having a blend of that, because of course there is different personalities in us. Um, it's blending it. It's knowing that it's okay. You want to love on your ego, because hey, it gets you to a job. It gets a roof over your head. It gets you that vehicle to and fro, or transportation, whatever it is. Those are all the ego. Protects you from harm. But if we can just walk around knowing that we're always protected, and giving ourselves that protection in our mind, saying, oh, we're always protected, I'm always around good people, always good things, always coming my way. When you do that, you're putting a vibration out that is so loving, so no problem. Your angels, your guidance team on the other side they're like, great, this is what we've been wanting. We want you to talk to us. We want you to ask us things. We're right here, because Earth is school. And we have to come down here. We're experiencing what it's like here. And Earth is, so many different lessons. What is your lesson in life? What do you feel like is your lesson? What pops up all the time? Because once you learn that lesson, it's done. You're not going to get that lesson forever, but you may, until you learn it. And once you do learn it, or you become aware of it, you go to the next part of life. But once you really realize it, your journey of life is what you then want, because we kind of let that emotion control us. It's like, what's next? What's to learn? What's this? What struggle am I going to get next? When you do that, you put that vibration out there. So the universe is like, all right, well, you want something else negative? There you go. You already asked for it. Because our state of mind, because we're not leading with the heart, our state of mind can tend to be, unfortunately, a little negative. We have some things that pop up that weren't so positive. And so, unfortunately, then we go out into the world and it's different. And we're like, oh gosh, how do we get this positivity? It's always staying calm and positive in any situation. It's really what it is. I've realized that I've went through lots of stuff, sadness and loss, and it's just, how do you feel in that moment? It's really controlling your emotions in each moment that happens. Do you be outraged and fuming, or do you stay calm and say, all right, this did happen, but now we can just move forward and try to, have a better situation. Whatever the case is, yeah, it's a good, it's a good challenge, but it feels good when you then become aware of it and you don't let it like engulf you, take over you. Um, and then you're right back to where you were, maybe you weren't really happy and you were really sad. And when you look at yourself in the mirror, can you honestly look yourself in the eyes? I think that's a big one. When you lead with your heart, you can most likely look yourself in the eyes. But when we don't, can you stare at your eyes? Can you actually deeply look into your eyes? Some people can't look at themselves and they feel mad and hatred and just all of anything negative. Um, it's interesting what we go through, but it's really just finding you and knowing you should love you. Love yourself as much as you can. That's the whole point of why we're here. And when you do that, you're leading with your heart, you're following your heart, you listen to your heart. And that's the vibration, that's the emotion. It feels good. It's a release. It's a beautiful gift, honestly. So if you'd like a session with me, I would love to do a session on you. You can go to my page, Jennifer Martinez, QHHT.com, or you can go, if you're not in my area, you can go to Dolores Cannon's official QHHT.com, and you can find a practitioner in your area and wake up and start living on you and create new habits and bettering yourself. And then when you do that, you can lead your life with your heart. You can feel with your heart. You won't feel numb. You won't have all this baggage. You'll be the best you could be. And why not? You deserve it. Don't be so hard on yourself. You deserve love and light. You are that. It's like my voice is just reminding you of the best you can be. And you are you, of course, and we need you on this planet, because when you're not, and when we're not here, it's a shift on our planet. It's a sadness of our planet. It's your life is worthy. You are worthy to be here. You are worthy because right now is the great awakening. It's the time now for the shift. It's the big event. We all wanted to be here. We all agreed to it. And I was just a part of it to help others to wake up with me. So I'm sending my love to you. I hope you have a great day. And I hope you listen to my stuff. And I have other podcasts that you can listen to. And I hope you get something from it. And I think that's it. And I hope you have a great day. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.